they
Part
wish
four.
that they had whatever the people that they're bashing, that they wish that they had that. But it's not that with my father. My father works a great job. And I mean, he may not have the relationship he wants. Um, he may not have certain friends or people that he wants anymore, like because he's so busy. And he may be tired of working all the time. A lot of people are just tired of working all the time. You know, that's a major argument in recent times. Like people are burned out. And I guess with my father, maybe I don't know. Maybe some people he'll call, like, I guess he feel like he can call and let out to me. I don't know. Maybe he's calling when he does call. Maybe it's a lot of it feels like venting, but it feels negative in a way of like, I could see it negative, like, okay, this person's going through something. I'm willing to listen, right? I'm willing to listen if you are going through something. But if you call me and you're bashing people, I can't even see that that is being an excuse of venting because you're going through something. Personally, it's maybe. I don't know, but I just know that you calling and bashing other people and that's the bulk of your conversation. I don't know what that is. It's a very interesting thing to me. It's like you you call to bash people, but a lot of you have a lot of flaws yourself. Everyone has flaws, man, but you're not pointing out your flaws. You are you are calling me your son and bashing other people that we care about. You don't bash those people. I mean, yeah, he does. He used to when I used to call me, or he used to call me and bash people that was on his job. People were sick of working around, stuff like that. And and even then, it feels harsh. It's like the things he talks about is problems that he has. It's like, how are you going to bash someone else, but you have those very same issues? It's almost like so he finds his not so good qualities in other people and he bashes them for it instead. That's what it feels like. And it's I don't know. Not accepting his faults, maybe not forgiving himself. He probably hasn't forgiven himself. I'm not sure. Only God knows. But I know that he will call. When he does call, he's bashing other people instead of admitting the things about himself. And he doesn't have to, he's not obligated to admit the things himself to anybody, right? But to call and bash people for problems that you yourself have, and not even necessarily problems that he has himself. He sometimes goes overboard. Like he'll bash somebody's job that we know, and it's like, but they're working. And as hard as it is nowadays, people are working and still can't afford to live. And people can have a decent job, a decent degree, and can still be barely making, scraping by. So for you to bash that, it's insane. And I'm out of, I'm back out of work again, recently. And he, I won't say he calls and bashes me, but it's sort of like when he calls, I can't tell sometimes if it's him gloating, boasting, in a haha, I have a job and you don't. That's what it feels like because that's what he does to people. That's his energy in general. It's a I have, this thing and you don't. They are peasants and I'm a king. I it's and sometimes that pride fades and he'll say, yeah, I wish I could do this and that with myself, and just Tim talking about personal stuff, just to wish that he could fix things that he could fix in his situation. Sometimes those that the real the normal dad comes out sometimes, but it's rare. And I think it's all the time is because he's angry. He's angry with something relationship wise. I hope he's making enough to take care of himself. Maybe he's not. I have no idea. I have no idea. I think he's making. I'm sure he's making it with the job he has. He has a great job, so he can't not be making enough. But I realize certain living situations, like I said, his job takes him places. You know, so certain expenses that he shouldn't have to pay. I believe sometimes he has to pay those expenses, and it may be cutting into his saving. What he can retain financially, maybe. So I don't know. I can only assume. I can only speculate. You know, as to why this man, my father, makes such a decent, I would say, amount of income. I'm not saying that money makes you happy. It's the root to all happiness, right? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that there is a reason that when he does call me, it's mostly bashing people that we know. And a lot of times when he does it, I have to get silent, because I feel myself in those moments trying to conjure up an emotion about a flaw or something that I know about somebody. And usually, I'm just going to chime in for a minute. Usually, what that is me trying to relate to him in that moment. That is the pool of gossip. Like, that's why gossip is a sin, because before you know it, you're roped into something that you didn't even have anything to do with. And me trying to relate to him in that moment, and I noticed these things spiritually. Like, I noticed these things heavily in different people, and or different situations rather. And it'll be, like I said, like, even if you got, like, workplace gossip is horrible, because if you subscribe to it, you find yourself in a situation where that you're not too happy with, because now you said something about a person that wasn't there, and now you're in on the gossip. So with the situation with my father, it's like, usually when he calls and he does these bashing sessions, I find myself wanting to relate. So I start thinking in my mind, like, to think up something to say about somebody, and then in the cusp of it, in the midst of it, I'm kind of like, that, wow, that's weird how sin is. How it's weird how sin works, because it's like a tug. And then when you subscribe to it and you allow that sin to choose how you react or act in a situation, then it has you. That's a snare, then it's got you, and so, yeah, it's slippery slope. But yeah, I just had to chime in on that. But yeah, back to the vent session. That's why I feel it's demonic. It's an attack. It's a spiritual attack when he calls. And he is a rampant, how can I describe it? Legion. He's a rampant legion. That's the best way I can describe it. And I felt like a legion at one point where prior to me getting more in touch with Christ, me getting more in touch with God's word, it was, and when I fall away from God's word, I feel these bad. But in recent years, I've been more solid than I used to be. And this year has been a solid year, I'll say, as far as my mental health. I mean, I've had, oh my goodness, I still have the very like tumultuous thoughts and moments, and it gets rough, but it hasn't been bad like it used to be. I believe I still have some older videos that are up that express how it used to be, but it hasn't been that way. It's been a pretty solid year mentally, and so I mean, plenty of downs this year. Oh my goodness, my job lied about why they released me. Got let go unexpectedly. A lot of harsh stuff, but mental health wise, and it was crippling. I will say it was crippling. Some crippling things happened this year, but it didn't crack me enough to break me to fall back into the episodes I used to have. I'll just say that. And there were some unfair things that happened this year, like very upsetting, a lot of bullying, different stuff that went on that job that I won't get into in this video. But yeah, enough happened that would usually make someone go crazy. And I felt it crippling my mental health, but it didn't do enough to crack me. So I've been pretty much on track, keeping my mental health sustained this year, keeping my spirit within a good balance. It's gotten bad this year, but I'm still maintaining a good balance. God is keeping me very strong through this year. I feel like God is holding me through a lot of situations this year, honestly. He really is. And but when my dad calls me, it feels like a legion, a rampant conglomerate of demons or things, just fires, like tumultuous energy, like terrible, hectic energy just coming out. And I feel myself giving into it in a way of sort of kind of getting angry, like getting seduced by anger, if you will. Like, when someone starts speaking negative, then like if you've ever been at work and like once a negative conversation starts, there's a few people who will tap in and like immediately get drawn to it, and they'll start talking and get angry too. But then there's the one person who will just walk away like, oh my goodness, like, nope. And usually I'm that. But when I'm talking to my dad, sometimes I'll find myself falling into, when he says, oh, this person, this, and, but if it's someone we love, I get silent because it's just like, I want to let him vent, but I won't sit and bash family. I won't. And I've had my thoughts. I've gotten angry and frustrated about things, but I won't go on a tangent about another family member to another family member. If anything, I talk to a therapist about that. If I have to say something or have to vent about something. But yeah. Trying to conjure up in my mind, just like I was expressing before I kind of went off on that tangent just now. I sort of find myself trying to find something that I used to dislike about a certain person just to continue talking with him or being agreeable with him in that moment. That's the trap. That's the trap, is you trying to seek something in your mind that's relatable to what they're complaining about, just so, conclusion to the dream coming out, that the conversation will be comfortable for them.